Okay, if you've been following the news with the Harbor Freight jack stands, you know that they can fail, and if you're under the vehicle when they fail, it can lead to serious injury or death. But if you look at the overall statistics, people actually have jack stands fail on them all the time for a number of reasons. So today, I can't believe we're covering this, but it seems like we have to. We're going to go over how to lift a vehicle, work under it, and not die.
I do want to insert this quick caveat. I'm not saying that what I'm going to show you today would have prevented a Harbor Freight jack from failing. What I'm going to show you today would have maybe saved you if one of the jack stands did fail, and I'm also, more importantly, going to show you a way that will make any jack stand safer, because a perfectly good jack stand can fail if it's not used properly.
So my first tip should be a no-brainer tip, but people miss it all the time. Make sure the parking brake is on. Make sure your vehicle is in park. All right, tip number 2, you always want to make sure that your vehicle is on a level surface, or as level as can be. Now in my case, my entire driveway and carport is one big slope, so that's not possible. In that case, you're always going to want to make sure that you chalk the wheels. So we're going to be taking off the front tire, which means we're going to be chalking the wheels of the back tire. If we're going to take off the back tire, chalk the wheels of the front tire in the direction the vehicle is going to be tipping down. So that's something you should always do as well. When you get to lifting the vehicle and you're at home, you have one of two options. The vehicle comes usually with a scissor jack, and then you can get one of these nicer hydraulic jacks at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, pretty much anywhere. Now, while the hydraulic jacks are faster and it's nicer and it is bigger, it is hydraulic. There is a hydraulic cylinder in there, and there are seals, and there are pistons, and they can leak, even brand new from the factory. So, working under a hydraulic jack alone is a very bad idea, because even though it seems like it's good, over 20-30 minutes, it can slowly creep down on you. And if you're underneath the car, you may not realize that it's slowly come down, and then when you try to get out, you realize that you may or may not be stuck, and then you may panic. The scissor jack has a long jack screw that goes all the way through it and connects to a nut here at the end. So when you loosen and undo it, it makes it higher and lower. Now the good thing about this design is once it's set in a position, this is not going to move unless it's turned. So if this is under your vehicle and this is all you have, one, shouldn't be all you have. But if it is all you have, between the two of these, I'm much more comfortable working underneath the scissor jack than I am a bottle jack or a hydraulic jack. While it's nice to have a hydraulic jack or a scissor jack, you should never work under either one of them alone. You always want to make sure that you use a suitable jack stand for your vehicle.
So here's the big takeaway from this video, guys. If you put a C-clamp around a jack stand, it will eliminate this back and forth movement that you see here. Now that's very important, because that back and forth movement, when a jack stand has weight on it, can lead to one of those gears shearing and the jack stand dropping a gear. And generally, if it drops a gear, it has enough momentum to potentially shear the entire jack stand so that it completely collapses. Now this will prevent that from happening, because you make sure that the gear system inside that jack stand has complete contact with each ratchet and paw.
So there you have it. Just one little cheap C-clamp, one little cheap jack stand, and there you go. And I've honestly debated like welding this on before and just leaving it. So I would just weld this in, or just put JB Weld if you don't have a welder. It doesn't really take much tension. It'll hold itself on when you clamp it. You just need it to stay in there when you screw and unscrew it. There's a good shot of what it should look like. So you can see it just comes in contact with that ratchet paw. So this handle hooks to the paw of the ratchet, and that's what this is, guys. A jack stand is just a ratchet. And when you push the paw into that gear, you can see it makes good contact up in there, and that's what keeps it safe. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is where to actually put your jack on the vehicle. You may see some mechanic fails on the internet where people put it on the outside body, and the car may start to lift up, but then this whole frame crumples. What you actually want to do is look at your manufacturer's maintenance manual, and most of your cars are going to have a spot, noticeable spot, where the jack goes. So here's what we've got. We've got the hydraulic jack lifting up the vehicle. I have the jack stand height set up almost perfectly. You can see there's just a tiny gap between the two. So all I have to do is slowly lower the bottle jack until it comes in contact with the jack stand. All right, now it's on the jack stand. I'll give the bottle jack one quick tiny pump, just to take a little bit of pressure off the jack stand. The pressure is evenly distributed between the jack stand and this. You can always tell if the jack stand's engaged by trying to move the base, and I cannot. So now we're going to slide our C-clamp on. Okay, the C-clamp is on, and what that C-clamp does is it makes sure the ratchet is fully engaged in these paws, that it completely goes into those. And that's actually where the Harbor Freight jack stands were failing, is right at those paws. So that prevents this from moving whatsoever, and it's very safe. Now, you may think you're done, but there is one more trick to working on one of these vehicles that'll make it a lot safer when you're underneath it, and I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, to recap, we want to make sure that the parking brake is engaged. We want to make sure the vehicle's in park, if you can service it while it's in park. You're going to make sure you're on as level ground that is available to you. You want to make sure that you have chocks on both back wheels or front wheels, depending on which way the vehicle is slanted. You want to make sure that you use a good jack. You want to make sure that you use a jack stand, and you put that C-clamp around it to make it a lot more stable. And last but not least, throw the spare tire under there, because let's just say you are here, your hydraulic jack fails, your jack stand fails. They could fall one way or the other as someone comes up on your vehicle and leans on it. What that tire does is it provides a really wide area in both directions, so if the vehicle does fall to the right or to the left or front or back, the tire will catch it, in theory. And in theory, if it falls on the tire, the entire weight of the vehicle may not be on you. You may still be stuck under it, but that tire could potentially save your life. So there you have it. That is the ultimate guide to jacking up a vehicle and not dying. I guess I should add a 6th point, which is don't get the defective jack stands from Harbor Freight. Make sure you get a good one.
Oh, by the way, pick up your internet certified mechanic shirt, because if you see it on the internet, you know it's true. Link in description. Subscribe, leave me a comment.
Bonus clip, you need someone to guard you while you work on things. Look at that paw. Why is your nose covered in dirt? Why is it covered in dirt? What you been doing? What you been doing? Oh, dang, you getting big, girl. Dolly is a year and 3 months, and she's 140, so we didn't think she was gonna get this big, but she kept growing. Okay, stick around for next week's video. I'm gonna show you guys how to extend the life of your tires by 20%. And it's really easy. This applies to all Jeep, Hummer, and RAV4 owners, if you're like me, but specifically the Jeep crowd. They're really bad about doing this, and I don't know why, and it's a pet peeve that I have. But if you want to see that, stick around until next week. That's all I have for this week, guys. Thank you for watching to the 3rd ending of the video. Peace out, bye.